The MAGA movement has finally risen up against Donald Trump and is demanding his resignation due to the failure of the war against Iran. While Republicans in Congress are showing almost complete loyalty and even submission to Donald Trump, his supporters in the media who actively helped him come to power feel betrayed and abandoned. During the election campaign, Trump promised to end, as he called them, the endless wars that the U.S. is stuck in and to focus on reviving America. As a result, the slogan "America First" remained just a slogan for many of Donald Trump's misled supporters. In addition, at one time, Donald Trump's staunch supporters of all his conspiracy theories were shocked by his threat to destroy, as he put it, an entire civilization if Iran did not agree to cease fire, and even his attacks on Islam. In this episode, we'll discuss who is attacking Donald Trump inside the US right now, how they're doing it, and how it all might end. My name is Alexei Pecci. Let's discuss this topic together, but before we start this episode, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and drop any comment you like. And if you want to support the work of this YouTube channel, you can do so with any donation or sponsorship. On YouTube, all the links and details on how to support Alexei Pecci's channel are in the description of this video or by using the QR code on your screens. And subscribe to my Telegram channel, Pecci News. The link to it is also in the description of this video. So, once the most ardent supporters of the American President Donald Trump, who at his call even went to storm the Capitol and believed his tales about stolen elections, have now rebelled and declared that Donald Trump simply deceived them all. And MAGA is the biggest scam in history. The loudest and longest rebuke to Trump was given by interviewer Tucker Carlson, who actively supported Trump and became famous for his interview with another, as he put it, strong leader, Vladimir Putin. So, in other words, he's quite an odious figure, but nevertheless, Tucker Carlson helped Donald Trump a lot to win the election. Let me immediately point out one very important thing. Some people in the comments under my videos just can't figure out which side I'm on. And they urge me, as they say, to make up my mind and join some camp. I'll tell you right away, if you still haven't figured out which side I'm on, it means only one thing. That, as a journalist, I'm doing my job perfectly. And if you still can't figure out which side I'm on, that's simply the highest praise for me. And also, in my opinion, taking someone's side is for weak and herd-minded people. Taking someone's side. But let's get back to Tucker Carlson. In his nearly hour-long monologue, Carlson called Trump's Sunday Post disgusting in every way, and he accused him of threatening to commit a war crime. Quote, "How dare you speak to the country like that on Easter morning? Who do you think you are? You post something with a swear word on Easter morning." This is the very message where Trump says the following, addressing the Iranians. Quote, "Open the dam straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll live in hell. Glory to Allah." After that, one of Donald Trump's most fervent supporters in the past, the even more notorious Marjorie Taylor Greene, who recently left the House of Representatives, responded the same day with the words, quote, "Every member of his administration who calls themselves a Christian should fall to their knees and ask God for forgiveness, stop worshipping the president, and put an end to Trump's madness. This does not make America great again. This is evil." On Tuesday, after another furious post from Trump saying that an entire civilization would perish and never be revived if Iran did not agree to a ceasefire by his deadline, Taylor wrote, "So modern people throughout the 25th Amendment. Not a single bomb has been dropped on America. We cannot destroy an entire civilization. This is evil and madness. Let me explain. The 25th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution establishes the procedure for transferring power to the Vice President in the event of the President's early end of the President's term or incapacity. Remember, this amendment was adopted after John Kennedy's assassination. Even the far-right figure and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, who for years defended and supported all of Donald Trump's nonsense, has called for Trump's resignation. About the stolen election, and about these Democrats, the Satanists, all these scary stories that were spread by the QAnon movement, which actively supported Trump, and part of it later grew into the MAGA movement. So, Alex Jones was the one who for years spouted nonsense and fed it to Americans, who then went and voted for Trump. And so, Jones couldn't hold back his emotions on his podcast and called Trump, quote, a man at risk of developing dementia who needs to be removed from office. Sadly, the Trump we all knew and loved is no longer with us, says Jones. I should note that it was largely the deluded supporters of the MAGA movement who helped Donald Trump win the election. And now, one of the founders of this movement, columnist Candace Owens, who has millions of followers, called President Trump a genocidal psychopath and demanded that Congress and the armed forces intervene in his policies. Once again, this is another one of those influencers with a million-strong audience who called on people to vote for Donald Trump. People listened to her and elected such a president. Now she calls him a genocidal psychopath. But the rebellion goes beyond MAGA supporters who hoped that Trump would actually implement his campaign principle of America First. But it didn't happen. And disappointment also swept over a whole array of podcasters, bloggers, comedians, conservative influencers, and so on, who in 2024 helped a lot, let's say, to normalize attitudes toward Trump among younger and less ideologically driven people. And here's the most popular podcaster. You've all heard of him. Joe Rogan, whose support for Trump in 2024 played a huge role, called the war with Iran insane, considering what Trump ran on during the election. Joe Rogan says, how could this happen? I urged all of you to vote for him, and he turned out like this. Trump supporters who wanted the president to focus on domestic issues feel betrayed, says Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan says, I feel betrayed too. Let's move on. Comedian Tim Dillon, loved by viewers for never mincing words, called Trump's principle, America First, quote, the greatest scam in history. He says he really fooled all of us, he just deceived everyone, that it's simply the greatest scam in history, he doesn't care about America at all. No, America First was just a nice slogan. It didn't go any further than the slogan. Another comedian, Theo Von, used a word from Trump's post and called not Iran, but the US and Israel, quote, fucked up terrorists. Sorry, that's a direct quote. In 2024, during the election campaign, Trump was a guest on Von's podcast, and he actively, once again, campaigned for Donald Trump. And of course, many Catholics were shocked by Trump's mockery of religion. That same Tucker Carlson stated that Trump, quote, wants to use our armed forces to destroy civilian infrastructure in another country. That is, to commit a war crime, a moral crime against the people of that country, whose well-being, by the way, was supposedly one of the reasons we entered this war in the first place. Moreover, no decent person mocks someone else's religion, unless he wants to start a religious war. To mock someone else's faith means to mock the very idea of faith itself. But, the whole paradox is that Trump no longer needs the MAGA movement, and he can just throw it away like something used. Well, he doesn't care. For example, today he was mocking Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's an odious, crazy congresswoman who was spreading all those conspiracy theories that Russians were trying to promote about Ukrainians. She picked up on all of that, picking up all those conspiracy theories that were being spread inside America. But nevertheless, today Trump lashed out at her, started insulting her because another congressman was elected in her place and entered the House of Representatives. And do you know why Trump can now throw out all these MAGA supporters, all these influencers, podcasters, bloggers, it doesn't matter who, all these public figures with millions of followers who urge their fans to vote for Trump? He can say, get lost all of you, I don't need you. Do you know why he can do that? Because no matter what Donald Trump does now, the Republicans in Congress remain completely loyal and obedient to their leader. Notice that no one, absolutely no one, says a word against Donald Trump's will. And this is happening even though the results of a Pew Research Center poll showed that only 35% of Americans trust Trump's policy on Iran, while 64% do not trust it. So I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. If you want to support the work of this YouTube channel, you already know what to do. You can do this by donating via the QR code on your screen or through the links and details in the description of this video. I will be grateful for any support you can give. That's all for now. Take care. Goodbye, everyone.